of introductions tonight because we get to give her another shot at my introduction. Mary Cyree has been a member of Toastmasters since 2008, and she is currently working on her second Competent Communicator Manual. Tonight's theme of New Beginnings is especially appropriate for Mary, for after living most of her life on the west side, she has a new beginning over on the east side. So, with this new phase of life, let's hear her icebreaker and welcome Mary.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Yes, living in Wenatchee is a new beginning for me. I'm learning a new city, meeting new people, learning the streets, getting used to the climate, and look, I found a new Toastmaster club to belong to as well. So, going through the new beginnings of my life, I think it's appropriate to start at the very, very beginning. I grew up on a small farm in Whatcom County. That's near Bellingham. My father had row crops, and we grew peas, beans, and corn on our farm. And of my childhood, I have to say, it was very happy, and I feel blessed to have had the childhood that I did. When I left my little rural high school, I worked for 3 summers at the food processing plant that my father shipped his crops to. I stood on the belt. It was an inspection belt, watching beans or peas go by. A 12-hour shift, 6 days a week. It was the worst job in the world. It was boring, and I knew that there had to be something better in life than a job like that. But the pay was good. So it enabled me to attend college, and I started my college career at Western in Bellingham. I was so excited to go to school, to go to college. I thought it was going to be full of new adventures. I would meet new people, study new subjects, and be on my way to a career in my life. But after 2 years, it didn't work out quite that well. I didn't know what to major in. I was kind of lost. So I decided not to return to college for the 3rd year. I put in my final year of working at the worst job in the world. I used my money to buy a backpack, sleeping bag, and a round-trip ticket with an open end on it to Copenhagen. And I spent 3 months in Europe. It was the best thing I could have done. Really was a new beginning for my life and opened my eyes to the world beyond little Whatcom County. I saw things in person that I thought I would only be able to see on TV or in books. The fjords of Norway, the Mona Lisa, the Swiss Alps, the French Riviera even. It was fantastic. I came back home December of 1973, just inspired to get a job and get on with my life. The only trouble is, right then was the height of the OPEC oil embargo. Some of you remember that, and the long lines of trying to get gas. There were no jobs. There were no jobs in Bellingham specifically. It took me 3 months to find a waitressing job. Now this was a real wake-up call to me, and I've learned a big lesson there. You need an education, and you have to start somewhere. So just pick something and do it. My next new beginning was to move to Seattle. I attended Shoreline Community College, and I became a medical laboratory technician. And I did that for 5 years. It was a good job for me for a while, but I began to get dissatisfied at that job. I was 26 years old. Did I think I could be doing the same thing when I was 46? And the answer was no. So, time again for a new beginning. I went back to school, this time at University of Washington. 2 years later, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I had a concentration in computer technology. This was the mid-1980s, and the PC was just beginning to make its impact on people. And it was a fantastic time to start a career as a software developer. There were lots of jobs to be had. So I worked at a few small startup firms before landing a job at the University of Washington. I worked in a central IT department as a software developer and finally as a project manager. I was there for 23 years. It was a very good job, a good place for me to work. But I had spent my entire life in Western Washington. And the climate didn't bother me, you know, I grew up with it. I knew what clouds and rains would bring. There was reward that when the sun finally came out, there was no more beautiful place on earth than Western Washington. Until the summers of 2010 and 2011, I don't think the temperature broke 80 degrees in those 2 summers. We were fleece after the 4th of July. I had a row of raspberries in my backyard. They didn't even fruit that year. And my tomatoes didn't even blush. To my husband's delight, I announced one day, I'm ready to live somewhere where they have 4 seasons, not 1, 4 seasons. He was very happy because, you see, John used to live in Wenatchee. He loved it here and he's always wanted to come back. So we made the decision to sell our house that we lived in for 25 years in Seattle. We leased an apartment for 1 year while we wound down our Seattle days. We found a site in East Wenatchee to build a house, and we moved here just before Thanksgiving this past year. So yes, I'm starting a new beginning here in Wenatchee, and I think I'm adjusting fairly well to everything. The city streets, I figured out with Chelan and Mission are one way, and if you go 30 miles an hour, you can just cruise right through town. The climate, I can't get enough of the sun and the blue skies. I'm going through hand lotion like crazy. I have found a hairdresser, and we're figuring out what to do with my dry, staticky hair. And, oh yes, look what just happened. I finished my first speech as a member of Cascade Speakeasy Toastmasters. Another new beginning. Mr. President.